Today we're cooking dried chickpeas from scratch. I love having dried beans in my pantry because they take up less space than canned beans. You can make less trips to the grocery store, and with a bit of pre-planning, you can make all your favorite chickpea recipes that much thriftier. Knowing how to take these dried beans and turn them into these tasty cooked beans is a skill that really came in handy when the COVID-19 pandemic came upon us. Our grocery store shelves were empty of all the canned beans, but the bags of dried beans were all there for the taking. So this does take some time and some forethought, but most of the cooking time is hands-off, and I will walk you through the process. There are two steps to cooking beans from scratch. First, they need to be soaked, then they need to be cooked. And for the soaking part, there's two methods, a long soak and a quick soak. I've soaked these 2 cups of dried chickpeas in my fridge overnight in cold water. And that is the long soak method. Now, to be honest, I am never prepared enough to do it this way. Usually I use the quick soak method, and for that, you take your dried beans, put them in a large pot, cover with cold water, make sure there's about 2 or 3 inches of water above the line of the beans because they're going to swell as they soak. Boil that, and then let it boil for 5 minutes. Then turn the heat off your stove and just let the beans soak in that hot water for about 1 hour. Then your soaking part's done. You're gonna drain that water, put fresh water in, and move to the cooking part of the process. For beans soaked overnight like these, drain the water they soaked in, give your beans another rinse, add them to a large pot, and cover with fresh cold water to cook them in. 1 cup of dried beans will swell to about 3 cups of cooked beans, so make sure you have enough water sitting on top of your beans so that they stay submerged as they cook. I'm going to bring these beans to a boil, then reduce the heat to a simmer and simmer for about 40 minutes to 1 hour. A great thing about cooking your beans from scratch is that you have some control over the taste and texture. So if you simmer your beans with the lid on, they'll get softer. And if you simmer without the lid, they'll stay a little more firm. So if I'm gonna use my beans for hummus and I want them to blend down and be nice and soft, I'll simmer with the lid on and leave them to cook a little longer. But if I want them for soups or curries or roasting them, then I'll take the lid off while they simmer and I won't cook them quite as long. And likewise, you can add any seasonings you want. Add in a bay leaf if you feel like it, add in some garlic. There is much debate about when to add salt for cooking beans, either at the beginning or the end of the cooking time, but I add it in the last 15 minutes and that tastes good to me. When your beans are done, drain the water, but you can actually reserve it. Look up Aquafaba for the amazing uses of this chickpea water as an egg substitute, and click the link below for our tasty recipe for our Aquafaba mayonnaise. I do prefer to use canned Aquafaba, usually when I need it because it's a little thicker and I find that it froths up better than this homemade Aquafaba, but today we're making some hummus and we can use homemade Aquafaba for that, so I'm reserving about ½ a cup for my hummus. Now for storing your tasty cooked beans, if you're blessed with patience, you can remove as many of these loose skins as possible. When your beans blend down, if you want them for hummus, then they'll just be a little bit smoother. But you've already cooked beans from scratch, so do what you can. These will stay for about 3 days in your fridge in an airtight container, but if you're not going to use them right away, I suggest freezing them. So spread them like this in a single layer on a baking tray, pop this in your freezer, in a couple hours your beans will be frozen, then scoop them up, transfer them to a bag, and that way they won't all clump together. Easy scooping. And there you have it. 2 cups of cooked chickpeas from scratch costs us about 45 cents Canadian, whereas a can of chickpeas costs us about $1.50. And right now we're gonna use these tasty, freshly cooked chickpeas for our 5-minute creamy hummus, which costs us less than $1.20. To your food processor, add 2 cups of cooked chickpeas, a 1/4 cup Aquafaba or just water, a 1/4 cup tahini, which is a sesame paste used to make hummus, ½ a tablespoon lemon juice, ½ a tablespoon white vinegar, some salt, a 1/4 teaspoon cumin, and a clove of garlic. Blend that up and then stream in about a tablespoon of olive oil and another couple teaspoons of Aquafaba to get the hummus nice and smooth and creamy. Making hummus is so quick and easy, and you can use it as a base for all kinds of other recipes. So click the link below for our 5-minute creamy hummus, and make sure to subscribe for new videos every Sunday at 5. Take a look at that. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. We love to hear from you. We'll see you for the next one.